Hello, my foodie friends. It's me, your friendly neighborhood Kitchwitch, Tara. Welcome back to Recipes for the Cooking Impaired. Welcome back for those of you who are returning. I have missed your faces. You're so cute. Did anybody ever tell you that? You've got the cutest, beautiful face. Oh, that was only slightly cringe, but I meant it with a heart full of love. And for those of you that are brand new, thank you for coming and joining us on this recipe adventure. And I say adventure because can you see where we are right now? We are still in the world of Skyrim. Ah, there's a reason for that. We're in the world of Skyrim because we're doing Skyrim inspired recipes. Now, this is not my recipe. I am borrowing it from a book called The Elder Scroll Cookbook, written and created by Chelsea Monroe Cassell. Excellent recipes. If you don't have a copy of this book, I recommend picking it up. So good. Even if you've never played Skyrim, which I did for a hot minute to try it out. It was fun, but it was an epic failure. I need practice, but I had a lot of fun doing it anyway. So what we're going to do today is not a main dish. It's not a side dish. This dish could be considered a dessert or a breakfast even. This is salt rice porridge. So, what the heck is salt rice porridge? I heard you. I'm going to explain. It is think of oatmeal, but made with rice. That's kind of what this is. All right, so we need 3/4 cup of white rice. Make sure it's white rice. It can be either short grain or long grain. Either one's fine, but don't use wild rice. Brown rice is going to change the consistency. Unfortunately, in this case, it's got to be the white rice. 1.5 cups of water, 2.5 cups of milk. Now, if you are lactose intolerant, you can use a milk substitute for this. So like your Lactaid or a soy milk. I would stay away from coconut milk because it's thinner. Almond milk would be fine. Oat milk would be fine, but it will change your flavoring some. And then if you're doing a substitute, make sure it's the original flavor and not a vanilla. Mostly because it's going to change the flavoring, but being that there's vanilla already in this, it might make it a little overpowering, which is why I suggest don't use the vanilla flavored alternatives. If that's all you have in the house, it won't destroy it. It's just going to change it. So, but as always, give it a try. Part of cooking is experimentation. That's how all recipes came about. So either way, milk, avoid anything too watery. So avoid skim milk and avoid coconut milk. 1 to 2, well, hello. Beep, 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 beep. 1 to 2 tablespoons of honey. Now, if you are diabetic, even though you're already having a bowl of rice, which has got the carbs, you can do a honey substitute. They do make sugar-free honeys. Basically, guys, this is a carb-heavy yummy. It's delicious, but it is carb-heavy. So please use in moderation. Either way, based on how sweet you want this salt rice to be, the porridge, you're going to use 1 to 2 tablespoons. Personally, I think it tastes best on using more of the lower side, the 1 tablespoons, but that's just me. 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. And you're just going to do a pinch of salt. And a pinch of salt is a very small amount, like tiniest amount. It's less than 1/8 of a teaspoon. It's just the tiniest little bit. All right, now at the bottom, as you can see, it says top with. These are not required. You can choose from them as many as you want, or you can choose to have none of them at all. So you got butter, dried fruit, nuts, ground cardamom, I said ground cardamom. Don't put in ground cardamom. This will be very, very, very spicy. Nuts, ground cinnamon, nutmeg, or heavy cream. And if you want to be adventurous, you can use all of them, but it's not required. And this is just at the toppings to be put on at the end after we've made this delicious porridge. All right, my metric fans, you've been so patient. Are you ready? Are you ready? Yeah, you are. Okay. All right, here we go. La 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 la. You're done. Yes, you can find these songs on Spotify. Kidding. They are not trademarked. La 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 as much as you want. It will not hurt my feelings. If you make money on it, that's awesome. All right. So back to the topic of baking and cooking. Let's get into the kitchen and start this bake. See you in there. All right. So we already have our water and we're adding in our rice. And if it looks to be kind of moist, that's because it's really recommended to come down a little bit. There you go. It's recommended to rinse your rice before you cook with it. So we're going to add this in, and we have a medium saucepan. We're going to bring it to boil, so it's going to take a hot minute, friends. Now make sure that you're periodically stirring so that your rice does not stick. We still have about 5 minutes. We'll take a look and see how it's looking. We might very well possibly need the full 15. Go ahead and put the cover back on and we'll check back again. Okay, so now this is perfect. It is nice and moist. There's still a little bit of moisture, water left in there. So we're going to turn this down to low. And then we're going to start adding our milk little by little. Alright, so as you can see, the rice has been on low for the rest of the water to come out. So we now have a nice soft rice. We're going to start adding in the milk. Eventually it's going to be 2.5 cups. We are adding in just a little bit at a time and then we stir it in. And you're going to do this about every 5 minutes until you have all the milk gone and the right creamy consistency that we're looking for. While you're doing this, make sure that you keep the saucepan still on low. This will keep it from scorching. Alright, so as you can see, it's nice and creamy, but we haven't used the full amount of milk. We still have 1 more cup to go. So this is going to keep going, continuing on a low simmer until it absorbed into the rice a little bit better and we can get that last bit of milk added in. Alright, we've added in a little bit more. We still have milk, but this is our update. Still simmering, still stirring. Alright, so you guys know this process is the part that takes the longest. If you have to turn the heat up a little bit more, that's fine. Just don't bring it to a medium heat. You want it in more of a simmer. Alright, so this has now gotten thick enough that we can add our flavoring. And this took quite a while. We're talking probably close to about a half an hour for it to get to this correct thickness. Alright, so we're going to add in our honey. It's 1 to 2 tablespoons. And I'm going to say start with 1 because you can always add more depending on how sweet you would prefer your porridge to be. Oh, doesn't that look delicious? And for this recipe, there's no certain kind of honey. It doesn't have to be wildflower honey or clove honey or honey that's been sourced from certain kinds of flowers or anything of that sort. If you're diabetic, this is not a great recipe for you because carbs in the rice, but you can even use, they have an imitation sugar-free honey that's a little bit better if that's something you're interested in. So we're going to put in, once we get the honey in, Then we're going to add our pinch of salt and also our 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Remember, our 2 teaspoons of vanilla. So we actually are only going to do the 1 tablespoon because further into the recipe, at the very end, you're going to put in various toppings, and we're adding in some fruit, which already has its natural sugar to it. Alright, so next we have our vanilla and our pinch of salt. So we'll put a pinch of salt in. Okay. And a pinch of salt, it varies from person to person. Just as long as it's not a gobs amount. And our vanilla. Alright, and then we're going to stir this all together, and it's going to cook a little bit longer with the updated flavoring. And gives it a good smell, a good aroma, and you want it to get to really infuse in with that rice. Alright, it is now ready, so we're going to put some in the bowl, and then we will add our toppings. Now, there are a lot of different toppings. We're only putting a little bit in, partly because, well, I mean, it's like really late over here. Yeah. And this is kind of more of a breakfast nummy. So, some of the options you can top it with, you can add some butter, you can add some cream, you can add, as we're going to now, some dried fruit. Yeah. Yeah, that's beautiful. Just a few. Alright, we're also going to put a little nuts. A little bit of nuts, some pecans is what we have right now available. And just a dash of cinnamon, and then this delicious porridge. Skyrim porridge. Saltrice porridge, to be exact, will be ready for munching. And this is a great, like, dessert or even a breakfast. Nice and warm, especially on cold days, which, yeah, it's summer. We don't have cold days. But I'm still going to enjoy this. Yum. Alright, so let me know how you like this recipe. Did you give it a try, or are you thinking of giving it a try? Would you like more recipes kind of like this? More Skyrim recipes, or maybe a certain kind, like a breakfast or lunch, side dish? Let me know. Leave a comment, and please feel free to subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that like button. Give it a tickle, 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 tickle. Let me know that you're enjoying these videos, and you can hit the notify button to, you know, keep in touch with all of our foodie activities and more recipes. Until then, I miss your faces already. Bye. Mwah.